Well, good evening and welcome to the GP2 division of the XRL Racing League, brought to you here by GT Omega Racing. We're going to the city-state of Singapore for the Marina Bay track, and we're going to see the likes of XRL Bernie, last night's Formula 1 race winner Sean Bean 22, and all the others like Connor Eyes trying to tear out the track in the Far East and deliver this unique and exclusive form of racing on the night of Singapore under floodlights where anything is possible. I'm Pete Marcroft, and joining me in the box tonight is Lee Scott. How you doing?
I'm about to how you doing?
Fine, very well, thank you very much. Obviously, you had an eventful race here yourself last night. For those in the lower divisions who are watching here, what kind of tips can you give to the drivers as for the perils of what to watch out for and where to gain that extra little tenth of a lap that can make a big difference?
Well, you do. Don't hit the walls. Simple as that.
Well, it sounds like generic advice. Sounds very, very the how to suck eggs there, but you're very, very right. There's one of the few circuits on the calendar where the walls are always omnipresent, always willing to swallow you up very, very easily. Good evening to all the people on the stream watching. Right, this Tiger and Motorsport Nerd both checked in. We apologise for the slight delay here. There was one of the drivers who we were waiting on who seemed to be online but couldn't see the invites and then suddenly kept disappearing from the session. We hope to get him in the lobby. Unfortunately, that has failed. Now, the moment you're watching me deliberately crossing the pit line and going way off there, don't do that in the real race. I'm doing that to ensure I'm at the back of the grid and I'm not going to interfere in any way with the audience on the track. Well, out to the pit lane first. Well, what do you expect? It's Sean Bean 22. He's going to be leading the way on the track here, doing all he can to really underline the pace he had in Formula 1 last night when he was driving as a sub-driver.
Yeah, Sean did brilliant last night. Just avoided hitting the walls. He had very, very good pace. It was very surprising.
It's done that a bit earlier in the season. He did that at Bahrain as well. Many people are wondering if really he should be in GP2. Then again, I suppose if he gets his way towards the GP2 title, we'll definitely see him in the highest echelon permanently next season, very well.
Yeah. I think just kind of looking at the standings, he's not far away from the promotion spot, so another one here will definitely help his championship fight.
Aye, definitely. As I say, that's the kind of thing you really need, really. Pace and style, and also reliability, and that's one of the things he's had in spades. He's there to turn up and be able to take part in the race. So that's exactly what they need, really. Now, obviously we're going to wind it up here. We're not actually on any laps at the moment. If you are watching on the stream, give us your opinions, give us your comments and your predictions, and we'll do all we can to get them out there. Also, give us your questions. With Lee in the box here, we do have our kind of personal expert to give us plenty of options on the race. You want some tips on your racing, and many more. Get the questions in, and we'll get them asked. And hopefully, get them answered.
Yeah.
So Sean Bean now, he's just winding up. He's coming towards the final double apex corner at the very end of the lap here, and he's going to give himself a little bit of time, a little extra curves maybe, and a DRS flap open down towards turns 1 and 2. Very similar to the opening corners of Melbourne here. You've got to be very careful not to get thrown off wide, and he's done that absolutely perfectly. He's got the Ferrari changing direction pretty quickly there. This surprise is going to get the downforce from the car.
Yeah, oh, he had also wheels used to extra runoff.
Yeah, definitely, but so what? I'm not either. We did see us a lot in the race last night. People seem to be pushing as wide as possible here, but he's on a decent pace so far. He's got towards the end of sector 1. Oh, he's gone completely off the track at turn 7. We have no way of discounting the lap time, unfortunately, but that's definitely something you can't keep doing. That was well outside the track confines there. On the stream, Writers Tag is asking, do we think any surprises for the race and for qualifying? I'll be honest, no. I think it's going to be usual order here with this kind of track. But then again, it is one that rewards precision. So if there's drivers who are lesser known for the pace and more for their accuracy, they might be able to take home the bacon at the end of the race. End of sector 2. No sign of Sean Bean slowing down here. So even if he did go all 4 tyres over turn 7, he's not letting it stop him. I'm not sure what the rules state about that, actually. I'm not sure if there's anything in the rules about it in qualifying.
Well, I think he lost time going off the wheels of the track. It's just you can't do that in the race. Especially when overtaking, you can't do that. You have to get
No, definitely not. Mark Webber and Nico Hulkenberg are evidence of that. They're both drivers that have fallen foul for that. And Jamie2503's joined the race. He's made it, but he's going to be starting from the back in the pit lane. And a 1:39.2 for Sean Bean. That's slower than his pole lap. That's slower than his lap last night, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he did a 1:38.
Oh, Limit Dead 69's gone completely the wrong way. He's turned left instead of right at turn 8. He's now reversing. This was the spot where Lewis Hamilton famously threw his steering wheel out of the McLaren when the engine blew on the car. So he's waiting now in the middle of that. That's not a good way to start your qualifying. Well, to answer your question, Riotous, there's a surprise for you in qualifying. I didn't really see anyone doing that. Fuzzy37, meanwhile, coming to the final corner. Pace doesn't look as strong as Sean Bean's. He crosses the line with a 1:40.8. Good enough for P3 at the moment. Living Dead 69, I've just talked about him briefly. MJ1, he's currently driving Mercedes on the prime tyres here. Coming towards the final corner of the lap. Pace doesn't look that strong. Well, he's in the 140s, 140.9 for P4. Only a tenth off one of the guys on the option tyres. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think a mid 1 minute 40 is the time you expect from on the prime tyres.
What would your prediction be for pole if you were on the options? If you were one of the drivers out there at the moment, Leo, speaking of price, 140.7 from XRL Fearless. He's in second place on the prime tyres. Certainly seems to underline your prediction there. But for the option runners, what kind of pace would you be wanting if you was in the cockpit tonight?
A low 39 or high 38. That's probably.
Well, there you are, viewers. If you're in GP, you're in the GP3 on the F5000 divisions. That's what you should be aiming for. Aiming for the 39s, 38s. And I've just had my controller hit the floor. So I've actually lost a few details on my camera, and I'll get that sorted out for you all. That's better. XRL Bernie's coming out onto the lap. Surprisingly, he's gone for the prime tyres. Connor Rice is on the out lap. He's driving for Williams in a option pair. XRL Rusty, meanwhile, he's on the prime tyres. Coming up to the end. Oh, we've lost connection to Connor Rice. We've lost connection after he's left the pit by only a few yards. Is it possible you can possibly try and get him back in here, please?
Yep, going with the French list.
Meantime, XRL Rusty goes for turn 8 into turn 9. Goes a little wide on the entry at 9 there. But manages to get enough grip out of the corner. Coming towards the former Singapore Sling at turn 10. Now it's one fast corner there. Must be a lot easier to drive and a lot more fun now, surely.
Oh, a car sliding around in that left-hander.
Right, and XRL Rusty going on the Anderson Bridge now. Just over the minute time as it comes towards the end of section 2. A 106 was pretty par to me, that. Considering he's on the prime tyres, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, normally I'll be doing a 105 on the option, so Rusty's on course for a 1 minute 40 here.
And 1 minute 40, depending on how far it is, could be good for near the front of the grid. And if you're stuck behind someone on the prime tyres when you're on the options in the race, just how badly does it compromise your race here?
Oh, a lot. Because you'll be held up by a car in front and then you'll be affected by a turbulent air and that's going to destroy tyres. And Rusty abandons his lap.
Now that's surprising. I thought he would have been on course for a decent lap there. That's very surprising.
Probably got a corner cut somewhere in the lap.
Possible, yeah, and if he did die, he's gone in to avoid it. XRL Fearless, he's switched out to the option tyres, just coming out of the pit lane. Living Dead 69's abandoned his primes, run to do the same. XRL Bernie, he's coming through sector 3, he's not yet on a lap. Is there anyone actually on a lap at the moment? No, but Tom625 in the Sauber is just about to start one on the prime tyre, so we're right on board here as he goes through the final corner, onto the pit straight, using the DRS and on towards the first corner. It's so important to get the line absolutely critical here, and it's so easy to get thrown off the track, but he's taken that beautifully. Slowed down a bit too much possibly at turn 3, and still managed to go wide. Evidently the lack of grip on those prime tyres, making it very difficult. Rubbed the wall at turn 5 there. So close to damaging his wing, wasn't he?
Yeah, very lucky.
It was turn 7 now, the DRS flat wide open, cuts the inside curb, and right, just over the 4 wheels there. Literally millimetres in it. Roman Grosjean on Fernando Massa at Hungary there. Got to make sure you don't do that in the race, or you could get a penalty. But he's kept that quite tidy through turn 9 there, using the extra width for the track into turn 10. He's gone towards the apex beautifully, aimed for the wall. This looks pretty strong so far, and a possible chance for a strong contending lap. Oh, well, hitting the wall there certainly won't help his chances.
Good hairpin.
And onto the Anderson Bridge. Yeah. And he's coming over the lines of 106 again, so it looks pretty strong. Same kind of pace Rusty was showing before he aborted his lap. Question is, will Tom 625 hold it together to ensure he can keep the lap time going into 16 and 17? Roll the inside curve. You have to be so patient here. So easy to get stuck on the curve as Tom's shoulders there. Good demonstration. Going through under the grandstand must be absolutely jaw-breaking for the guys in the crowd there. And now we're coming towards the final corner. But make sure you've got quite a good gap of speed as you go flying over the finish line. Yellow flag's out, but a 1:40.3. Very strong lap time there.
Very good lap from Tom 65.
That's certainly going to have got raised a few eyebrows. XRL Fearless, he's starting the lap on the option tyres, going down towards turn 7 on the DRS squad. King grabbing straight here, and he gets on towards turn 7, gets on the brakes nice and early, clutch the inside curve, absolutely beautifully, going through turn 8, looking like he's got a bit wide there, but he's used the extra width of the track to his advantage. Onto turn 9, got to miss the apex on the inside there, that slowed him down, may have cost him a 10 for 2. Into turn 10, gets the apex beautifully there. Realised the car for turns 11 and 12 in the chicane. Rides that very, very well. Just avoids the Armco. He's on all-out attack here, XRL Fearless. Wanting to give the best lap he can. No curves available. No DRS. He goes over the Anderson Bridge here on the option tyres. An early 105. This looks pretty strong.
On course at low 39 right now.
Question is, can he keep it going through the final sector? Into 17 and 18, this tricky chicane corner where it's so easy to get deceived. Oh, he's hit the wall of the Tepco barrier there. Very close to damaging the car.
Well, at least he didn't do it on purpose, like what Nelson Piquet Jr. did in 2008.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. We don't want anyone doing that in the race.
Something like Grosjean did it a year later.
And he wasn't on purpose. Oh, look at how much extra track Fearless used there. He probably lost a good 2 or 3 tenths there because of that. Because he really had to get out of the gas. Totally got it wrong. So that's not a good line from Fearless, but it's provisional P2 as Fozzy 37 is coming to complete a lap. Not sure if this is very strong from him, though. He might just get away with this. So let's ride on board. Gets on a nice lift here, and he's on par for a 40.0. Good enough for P3 at the moment, but on the option tyres, probably 3 or 4 times too slow there. XRL Rusty's not yet set a lap time. He's on the option tyres. Going into the Anderson hairpin, onto the Anderson Bridge. He's got no curves, he's got no DRS. As he heads down towards this end of sector 2. Oh, mid 105. Not sure the pace is quite there for Rusty, but he is running out of time. He can't afford to do what Jambo did last night. I think he had enough time to abort and then not get round for an extra lap. You have to remember that an outlap here is a very, very long period of time, and you've got to make sure you save yourself enough time to get around. Let's go towards the end of the lap. XRL Rusty pushing as hard as he can. But a gas, puts the inside, avoids getting thrown off the track. Looks pretty strong. A 140.1. A few tenths off the pace, I'd say there.
Yeah, he struggled a bit in the final sector. His car's all over the place.
Oh, MJ1 just started his final lap there and he's made a mistake. Well, before he started the lap itself, he went off at the final corner. That'll have cost him a few Ks going on the DRS straight, and that will affect his lap time. But he's gone through turns 1, 2, and 3 okay as he heads towards the King of turn 4 and then 5, which leads onto the DRS straight. Even with the curve in the middle, it's very easy to go all out attack here and just go absolutely ball for glory. Oh, we've got problems with lag here. He seems to be lagging all over the place.
He just got 5-second lag.
He look, he got 5-second lag in qualifying. He's got just enough time to get around, providing he's not. He'll blow it here. I've never seen 5-second lag in qualifying. I've seen it on the race countless times, but never in qualifying before.
Very, very rare.
Well, in the meantime now, XRL Bernie getting towards the final corner. He's on the option tyres. He's not yet set a lap time here. Oh, and he's almost gone off the track there.
Pushing very hard. make or break.
He knows he's got to make up for that mistake here, because that will have been absolutely critical. Heading into our turn 3, missed the inside apex there. Got away with it on the outside, but will slow him down that as he goes through the kick at turn 4 and 5 on towards the DRS straight. He's ruled the inside apex very, very well there and seen quite all of his curves, so he's got a great chance to attack here now.
Find a bit there.
Oh, he's gone off the track completely! Totally got that wrong! If he does that in the race too many times, he'll be staring on the barrel of a penalty, and riding that much curve on 8 has really thrown him wide. It's a scruffy lap from Bernie. He's going to make this all out of sticker, else he's going to be struggling with the back of the pack. He just seems to have erratic lines on entry, doesn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, it's very scrappy. It's not taking the right lines.
And he's completely missed the apex there, which has compromised his exit from the corner. He's saved the curves to push on the Anderson Bridge. That's good strategy. We're going over the start finish rate, a mid 106 on the option tyres. That's going to be on par for a 41, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's see what he can do in sector 3. He might have got a car that's better set up for here, possibly. It's good. It's a scruffy lap, though, this from XRL, but it's a shaky start, and it's not going to give his confidence for the race much good. In towards the penultimate chicane, almost goes off on the inside there, having hit the curb, and we're into the final corner. Surprisingly, the pace still looks okay. Almost goes off the track, it's responded for a 140.3. Well, that's better than he deserved, maybe. MJ1 on the prime tyres is pushing for his final lap here. Goes into turn 8. Oh, and he's completely got that wrong! And he's understeered straight into the wall. That's his qualifying over. Rival 95X was compromised quite badly there in the Williams on the prime tyre, so he's not going to be very thankful for that because he's not yet set. And MJ1's retired on the track. That's a 10-second penalty, I believe. You cannot retire from qualifying. It's in the rulebook.
Even rookie should know that. Rookies have
it should indeed. There's no excuse for it. And Rival 95X looking quite shaky here. He's got to try and basically get himself on the grid, on the board, and give himself a chance at the race here. Looking pace-wise, he's on the prime tyres though, so that's going to give him the longest stint at the start. But it's a question of whether he can get those tyres up to temperature, and if there's an early safety car, which might completely compound his problem. Going through the final chicane before the final corner. Looks pretty okay, but his pace is not strong here. Going into the final corner, gets a little lift, goes around. This could be the 41s, a 41.4, and that's only good enough for an 8th position behind MJ1. Living Dead 69 did not get round to set a time, and of course Connor Eyes disconnected. Well, Sean Bean starts on pole with an 0.8 of a second advantage. If that carries over to the race, that's going to be dominant, surely.
Yeah, definitely. But Sean Bean can go quicker than that. He can get in the 38s easily.
Well, we're just waiting to get onto the main race now. Yeah, you get towards the drivers congratulating each other, and then we'll get ourselves out onto the grid. Well, needless to say, 0.8 of a second, that's an absolute pacing compared to the field for qualifying. Surely Sean Bean's going to have the confidence here. Can anyone from behind be able to pull the rug out from under the carpet, though?
I think XR Fields can give Sean a good run for his money. Took good pace in the F1 division last night, but unfortunately he disconnected early on.
And that'll be an important thing, won't it? Because both guys have done some recon and they'll know what the race is like for fuel, pit stop times and all that kind of information. And the question is whether it'll transpire into the race itself. Singapore, as we've said before, in any of the track guides and everything else, is a track where patience is required. It's more about an endurance race than all-out attack. All you people who are watching, all of you, thank you very much for being here for this race brought to you by GT Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk. If you've got any questions for us in the box, please get them on the chat. We'll do all we can to get through there. If you're watching this through the Xbox Live Twitch app, you can send a message to me or to XRL LGS. and we'll do our best to get them read out on the stream. So we'll give you a final rundown of the order. Sean Bean starts on pole position with XRL Fields in second, Fuzzy 37 in a strong third place, and XRL Rusty pulling a lap out for P4. Tom 625 on the prime tyres doing very strong for fifth. XRL Bernie, a scruffy lap, potentially a scruffy race then, in 6th place. MJI 1, he didn't do very well in qualifying. And then Rimo 95 in 8th. We've got Living Dead 69 in 9th place, Connorized in 10th, and Jamie 2503 in 11th, rounding off the grid. And with us two right at the back, meaning we're not going to get in the way. So, who's your pick for the race then? Is it the obvious Sean Bean, or have you got someone else in mind? Or are you trying to think for a little longer before answering that question?
I don't want to say Sean Bean because it's too easy. I want to think who else could really challenge it. I think Tom 65, he's got consistency. He's especially on the race pace. If the 11 does 69 can fight for the field, he has a chance.
Cool.
But I think Fearless is the main challenger right now.
Well, you've heard from us. All you guys on the stream, give us your opinions. Who do you think it's going to be? We'll get ourselves out onto the track. We'll just start the final countdown before the race begins here, and then we'll get out onto the grid to bring you uninterrupted coverage of this race here. Round 13 of the X-Lite Racing League GP2 division. Tomorrow night you've got GP3, that might be getting streamed or it may not. On the Wednesday there's the simulcast of F4 and F5000, and then LGS you'll be back on Thursday with the XRL Classics 80s and 90s. But before then, let's get ourselves out onto the grid to bring you the GP2 race live and exclusive on Twitch.tv.
Go.
So here we are, Marina Bay, Singapore, with Sean Bean 22 on a very dominant pole position. Question is whether qualifying time will translate to race pace, or if it's all about all-out attack from the other guys. We're waiting on the grid for the 5 lights to go out. At that point, we will be racing here on the streets of the city-state of Singapore. So lights go out at 5, and then we are off. The race begins now! So Sean Bean gets away well, but he's been followed very, very quickly there. Very, very close by the Mercedes driver going on the inside there, nearly 4 wheels off. Behind has been all clean driving through turns 1, 2 and 3. Very solid performance here. And looking further back, we've got second place for XRL Fearless, but side by side we've got the Mercedes XRL Rusty. He's under massive pressure now from the McLaren, being piloted tonight by Fuzzy 37, who's also got behind him Tom 625 in the Sauber, looking to get all over the back of it. That's what's turn 7. Phil 65 goes on the left-hand side. Great chance for an overtake here. Side by side on the outside, Fuzzy 37 holding on. Can he keep the line on the inside for turn 8? Yes, he can. Great driving by the McLaren driver there. Heading through about, we've got both of the mistakes.
XRL Bernie's on the inside.
Yeah, it looks pretty strong from XRL Bernie round that boat, round 95, and that's round turn 10. Sergio Perez made that exact same move in the real life race. Round 95 misses the chicane after being hit by Tom 65 there, and his teammate goes past him to the Anderson hairpin. That's a crucial pass. Oh, one of the Mercedes drivers almost hits the back of him there, but he just about gets away with that. So in the meantime, though, XRL Bernie being chased by Connorized and Tom 625. Tom 625 gets a better entry out the corner under his side of turn 15, and then XRL Bernie chops wide to defend, but he's just been able to hold the position. Up ahead, we got a 4-car scrap for the lead. These guys are all so close on the option lap here. Fuzzy 37 in the McLaren Mercedes behind the Force India being piloted by XRL Rusty. Then we've got XRL Fearless. Oh, mistake from Rusty on the ultimate corner there. Goes on the curve and almost spins it. Sean Bean 22's not been able to drop these guys. Not just yet, but it's a long race to go. We've got 31 laps left here at the Marina Bay Grand Prix of Singapore.
Very good start from Rusty. This is the highest possession he's been this season. It's been a very bad season for Rusty so far.
Well, meanwhile, XRL Rusty now is looking sizing at the back of XRL Fearless, who's racing very, very well there in the Mercedes, who's trying to get close to the back of Sean Bean 22. These guys are all trying to pull away. There's a bit of a gap now back towards the McLaren being piloted by I forgot his name already. Sorry? Fozzie, that's it. Fozzie 37, that's it. So meantime now, XRL Rusty just about fails to make the move on to turn 8 there. He's got to wait another lap. Behind them, we've got a bit of a close scrap here. I believe that's XRL Bernie, who's currently in P5. Behind him, we've got Tom 69 in the Sauber under massive pressure now from Connor Ives. Although Connor has made a poor exit out of turn 9, and all of a sudden the field starts to punch in the middle. This is going to be like a seesaw and yo-yo effect here. Tom 625's got a great chance on the Anderson Bridge here, because XRL Bernie's got wide. Sorry, what were you saying then?
Yeah, I was just saying that Bernie ran deep into the hairpin.
Yeah, Randy He's done it again as well. Tom 69, Bernie's really struggling here. Despite being on the option tyres, which is a faster compound than Tom 625, he's making a lot of mistakes here. We saw this in qualifying, and he's really struggling to find the line here. Underneath the bridge, underneath the grandstand. Oh, both guys nearly going to the wall there. Literally shaving the inside. Just about got away with that. So easy to damage the car there. As XRL Bernie takes a bit too much inside curve in the chicane, and very, very nearly hits the inside off. Very, very close. Tom 65 thinking about having a look at the DRS straight. DRS not yet active in that corner, but it will be active down towards turn 7 here. If he can get a good run in the back of XRL Bernie, he might have a chance. Oh, but he's got a bad tail slip coming out of the inside there.
Lemon 69 is already pitted.
Right, hang on. Sorry, say that again. My controller disconnected.
Lemon 69 is already pitted. Well,
maybe have a drive-through, maybe?
No, I checked the race director. It was an actual pit stop. He's nearly a lap down. He's gone off. He's lapped. He's lost his front wing.
Oh my God! This is extraordinary. Lapped after 3 laps, and Living Dead 69 has retired on the track. I'm pretty sure that's a penalty as well. You're not allowed to do that, are you?
Yep, that'll be a penalty for Carrera.
Right, try and get him in here so we can get his comments, because he didn't seem to enjoy qualifying either.
I know.
Meantime now, we've got Fozzie 37 closing up to the back of XRL Rusty. He's got a little bit closer to that Force India now, Fozzie. He's doing pretty strong here. Got a little bit of a line wide run from XRL Rusty, but Fozzie's shallow line gives him limited grip as well. It seems to be really low grip surface in the race here. Is that what it was like in the Formula 1 race last night?
Yeah, for the first half, it was very tricky, especially on the braking. Car feels so heavy on the high fuel tanks, and just there's no grip until the fuel burns off.
Well, in the meantime now, we've got Tom 65 who's really fallen away from the back of XRL Bernie all of a sudden. It seems to be that with the lack of grip, it's very, very easy to start sliding and slipping about. And it's going to be an interesting question. Oh, meanwhile, MJ1 got a great chance on the side of Connor Ives. That was turn 1. All 4 tyres up on the inside now. He doesn't take the position, but he's really getting a bit ragged there, MJ1. He's got to be very careful. We'll stick with him as he gets to the second DRS zone down towards turn 7, in towards turn 5. Oh, Connor Ives braking very, very late there. Really caught MGI out. DRS flop opens. MGI made a mistake, drifted a little too wide there. Going for a turn 6, he's just too far behind, and I cannot see a pass being affected here.
Connor Ives has already lost the front wing end plate. Will again understeer.
How critical is it to keep your end plates here at Singapore?
A lot, because when I lost the front wing end plate, I lost at least half a second a lap.
That's a big amount of time, isn't it? That's half a second, it's a colossal amount of time.
And then you lose 2.5 seconds in your pit stop, getting a new front wing.
So it all adds up very, very easily. Is it easy to damage your own place there? Because with all the walls being so close, I imagine it's easier than quite a lot of the other tracks.
Yeah, just a lapse in concentration, you just part your front wing. Especially in the middle sector, when you go under the grandstand, just for going to the Anderson Bridge. Like, this part of the track's just very tricky to avoid the walls. And the Connor Ives just hit the wall again. He's lost most of his swing. I won't be surprised if he pits the end of his lap. His tyres will be dead soon, and he's got no front downforce.
Well, in the meantime now, we're right on board with MGI1. Oh, Connor Ives hits the inside wall, and MGI1 goes, thank you very much, and slides right through. In fact, on my screen, he's not going. Oh, no, he has, but it's barely visible because of the weird design of the William. And, well, I guess you really are a sick, because he's gone straight into the pit. Are you a gambling man, Mr. LGS?
Sometimes.
Oh, with that kind of prediction, maybe you should make a career out of it. XRL Bernie, meanwhile, in P5 is causing it gun down to the back of Fozzie 37 in the McLaren. He's got DRS down towards turn 7, but I do believe that Fozzie might have the same advantage on the back of XRL Rusty. The gap certainly isn't coming down towards turn 7, and XRL Bernie's just not close enough. And he's gone off the track again, Bernie. He's done that quite a few times now. He's got to be careful.
Yeah. Did a lot in the first 2 laps.
XRL Bernie going for turn 9, gets a better line there than Fozzie. Fozzie pushed right up close to the wall, but managed to gain a little time on the edge, I'm guessing. Bernie hits the inside wall, and that throws him up into the wall on the outside. There goes the end plate, and he's missed the chicane now, so he's been passed by top 625.
Yeah, I think Bernie's tyres have gone off. Don't be surprised.
Well, only 5 laps though, surely that's too short a time.
Well, it's tyre scaling, so tyres won't last as long. And in the F1 division, most of the field pit in lap 8. So really lap 4 or 5 should be, well, for the option tyre runners, they should be pitting now.
In the race then, for your strategy, if you were doing a 50% race, what tyre strategy would you reckon would be the fastest one? Would it be all out attack on the options, or would you want to go conservative, run the options and then go for all primes?
I'll get the prime tyres as a first stop, just in case there's a safety car. Then I'll go ahead with the option tyres.
Well, we've got a absolute mad scramble for the pits here as Fozzie 37 hits the back of XRL Rusty. We saw that in the F1 division last night. People seem to hit the back of others in the pits, and XRL Bernie has decided to stick it out. Now, if he's got no front wing end plate and his tyres are nearing the end of the life, surely it would be better to react and pit of everybody else. He's a chance of being jumped by 4 cars here now, surely.
Rusty just got jumped by MGI in the pits.
Rusty's been jumped?
Yeah. In the pit
wow, that's a change of the field there. Good pit lane reporting there from LGS while I'm watching the track action. Absolutely fantastic. And top 65 now runs P2 as XRL Bernie closes onto the back of him in turn 8 here. But he's gone very, very wide, hit the inside curve there. Almost went totally around, but managed to just about catch that. Good car control from XRL Bernie, but he's sliding all over the place. His tyres must have literally fallen off the edge, and I reckon we're going to definitely see him in the pits this lap. But how much time has he lost?
Wave yellows in sector 2.
Well, wave yellows in sector 2. Has there been an accident?
With the car miles down the field.
Well, Jamie 2503, where he's got lots of marbles on his tyres, he may have gone completely off the track and triggered it, possibly.
I didn't see any yellow flags. I don't know.
Oh, XRL Bernie slides sideways into the tackle barrier at turn 15. He must be absolutely hating these tyres now. And the question is, how much time will he lose with the pit stop strategy he's chosen by staying out that 1 extra lap? Let's ride on board as he goes under the grandstand, heading down towards the final sector, but in the shadow of the wheel. Oh, he's turned left and slapped the wall and damaged the other end plate. Well, that was extraordinary.
His tyres have hit the cliff. Surely, he's boxing now.
Well, he must have lost a lot of time there. I'm going to get back onto the track and keep an eye on how many cars go by. We've already got JB2503, and he's decided to do a very late pit stop there. Just about made it into the pit lane entry. Rival 95X goes by. He's on the opposite on the prime tyres. That gives him plenty of opportunity. XRL Bernie's not yet been jumped by the Sauber JB2503. XRL Fearless goes through on the prime tyres. He's being followed very closely by Fozzie 37, also on the primes. Evidently, people are taking your advice and getting the prime tyre stint out of the way at the second stop.
Yeah, but he's now rejoining the Ave. Oh, he almost crossed the pit lane, the white line pit exit. You got to be careful on your first lap with new tyres, because as soon as you exit the pit, you've usually got marbles on your tyres, so you'll be struggling in the first 2 sectors.
Well, in the meantime, NJI1 is behind XRL Rusty, so it's position 7. We've got XRL Rusty in P6. And at the end of turn 7, once again, NJI1 goes totally off the track there. If that's something that's consistently being done, that's going to be a penalty. Make no mistake about it. On the screen, it's been quiet. Not many people have got any questions coming in. You all enthralled by the action? We hope so. Thank you all for watching and choosing here to be with us tonight. This race brought to you by GT Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk.
Sean Bean hasn't pitted yet, and he's still on the option tyres.
Well, that's interesting, because Sean Bean will have done the F1 division, where the tyres will have known how quickly they'll have gone. 2 laps extra, though. Is that a potential 2 stop for him from here, do you reckon?
If he can get prime tyres for the last 12 laps, yes. No, he's going to set option tyres. So he's not doing 2 stops.
Bizarre strategy here from Sean Bean. Positive 37 in P5, trying to chase down XRL Fields, in the Mercedes. In third place, got Rival 85X. He's boxed already. He started on the prime tyres. They've only lasted 7 laps. Surely that's too early.
Does he have damage to his front wing?
Even if it does, you'd have to suck it up and see, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Remember, like Bobert, XR Bobert, he started the primes last night. He only did like 10, 11 laps.
Well, the field's starting to spread out a little bit here, viewers. So what we'll do is we'll give you a quick rundown of the fastest laps. Tom625 currently inheriting the lead on a 144.8. In second place got Sean Bean on a 144.6. XRL Fields on 144.7 and Fozzie37 on a 144.6. So the top 4 all celebrated by 0.2 of a second of fastest laps. In fifth place, got XRL Rusty on a 145.0, MJI1 in fifth on a 145.0, XRL Bernie on a 144.7, and then Jamie2503 a 144.0. He's pulled the pace out from nowhere. Rival 85, not impressive on a 146.8. Connorized, he's obviously not in the race now, 145.9. And Living Dead in 69, who retired after that horrible opening stint.
Tom 65 in the lead. He's on the prime tyres. He's yet to pit. I think he'll stay for a couple more laps.
How many laps do you reckon they should last, really, the prime tyres on the 50% distance? Because obviously with the tyre scaling, they'll all be used to the distance you'll know from F1.
Yeah, I think about 10. Yeah, I can get 20 laps, 20, 21 laps, 100%, so 10 or 11 laps to 50% race distance.
Fozzie37 trying to get close down to the back of XRL Fields. Gap has come down as that McLaren started to come into its own here with the new prime tyres on. And he goes over the line for a 144.5. He's done his fastest lap. He's on the charge now, Fozzie37. Be interested to see if he can get close to the back of that Mercedes and harry him. And the big mistake for XRL Fields goes wide at turn 3. That's going to give Fozzie DRS now down to turn 7. But then Fozzie makes a mistake, goes nowhere near the apex, has to get out of the gas, and all that hard work comes unravelled in one corner. Fozzie37 not letting us go on.
You might have a chance at the Anderson Bridge if you can get close enough. In my opinion, that should be a DRS on, not on the pit straight.
I agree, actually. I agree with you there, because apart from when Schumacher said to ram into the back of Jean-Eric Verne, it's not really been a place that's big for accidents. And it's a nice, long straight into a tight right-hand corner. I see no reason why it should get where it can't be. In fact, there's the point for all you people on the stream who are watching. All the tracks have DRS. Where would you put the DRS zones if you were the guys in charge of the FIA?
Like basically, the DRS on the pit straight, that's basically used to get closer to the guy in front, to prepare for the overtake on the long back straight.
That's right, yeah, that's what they use it for. People say, it's an overtaking aid rather than an overtaking creator. But, at the end of the day, you want to see passes all over the track, and why not make it there? There's big grandstands in that area, give the fans some action.
I think that's Tom 65 in the pits.
That's early, what, 9?
Well, it's now on the set of super soft tyres.
It's been leapt over by both MGI, by both XRL Fearless and Fozzie37. Fozzie37's let the Fearless get away from him a little bit here, but Fearless once again going wide at turn 3. He's got an unusual driving line there, which pushes the car too far wide. Now what's Fozzie37 going to do? He's got a much better entry this time to turn 5, and he's got the DRS open, so he may have a better chance here. Deployed some curves to head down through the King at 6. Yano wants 7, but he's too far behind, I believe, to affect the pass, and he slots into third place for now. As once again, Fearless goes over the outside now.
Can't do that.
A lot of people seem to be doing that, and it's not on. You have to stick to the white lines of the rules. Simple as that.
Break earlier into turn 7. Simple.
Put some gravel there, despite the fact that it's a city route used by buses for the rest of the year. Put some gravel there anyway.
Bring the gravel traps.
That's right.
Because it's a challenge, because there's gravel traps everywhere.
Exactly, Degner, Spoon, 130R. They've all got the old gravel traps there waiting for you. I find it bizarre that China, for instance, has a gravel trap in the pit lane, but doesn't have one anywhere else.
Yeah, we'll call it Lewis Hamilton 2007.
You know, that's the only thing it's done.
Yeah, handed Raikkonen the title.
Aussie 37 getting close now to go back of XRL Fearless, trying to get into that DRS sector, trying to push on for the pass here as he gets a little mistake in the final corner, almost spins the car around, catches it, well that's definitely compromised him, cost him a tenth or two, into turns 1 and 2, goes a little wide at 1, throws him off at 2 slightly, and that's compromised his entry into 3. It's really important to get the line absolutely perfect in corners like that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Behind them, XRL Rusty has got Tom 625 all over the back of him now. The Sauber's going to have the DRS, brushes the inside wall, turn 5 there, damages the tyres a little bit, but the DRS flats wide open, there's the curse. This should be easy, but let's follow on camera. Round through turn 7, he's got to make sure he doesn't set himself up to be taken back in turn 8. This is going to be close. XRL Rusty's not giving up. Mistake possible with Tom 625 heading into turn 9. Can XRL Rusty find the space? No, he can't just yet. But at the same time, he's not letting Tom 625 get away from him. Into turn 10. It is possible to overtake here if you get it right, but he's just too far behind. 11 and 12, no way through there. Oh, and a mistake in the chicane. Almost switched the car around. And that might have given Tom 625 the crucial space he needs to pull away.
Yeah, Tom 65 is on a brand new set of Supersoft tyres, so he should be able to pull away easily.
Well, it's got a few tenths there already. Moving further forward, Fozzy 37's now very close to the back of XRL Fearless, who's driving for Mercedes tonight. This is a great chance now for Fozzy 37 to make an impression, get a scalp against second place. Sean B22 has already gone into the distance. Sebastian Vatalas. Here we go into the final sector, down towards the first DRS zone. Oh, too much inside curve there for Fozzy 37. That will have slowed him down into the final corner. Slight lift, the boy's getting too much curve. Great chance here. There goes the DRS level. Small band of curves down towards turn 1. He's not going to be able to affect the pass here. It's crucial against his chain corners right to have any chance to turn 7.
He can get turn 5 right, then he has a good chance of overtaking Fearless.
Looks okay to me, maybe a little middling of the throttle there, but he's got away with it. DRS flat wide open, tons of curves deployed, down towards turn 7, Fearless goes defensive to the inside track. Fozzy took a look there, but sorry, it was just a little too far behind, but Fearless nearly made a mistake. Very close, very good driving by Fozzy 37 this, trying to psych out his rival, trying to make him make the error and get the pass move done. And now towards turn 10, the former Singapore sling. How much of a relief is it for a driver that that chicane is no more?
I like that chicane in the F1 games.
I thought it was. I used to treat it as 190-degree corner. I didn't used to treat it as a chicane. I just aimed to get over the second hump.
One simple turn to the left and you're over it.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, bring it back, yeah. I say.
Make the curves higher.
Maybe put a loop in there while we're at it. So meanwhile, going down underneath the grandstand here, Fozzy 37 falling a few yards behind XRL Fearless. It's sector 3 doesn't seem to be as planted as the Mercedes, and I think that's the crucial difference maker. It's almost like when Hulkenberg of South Korea had that first sector to be able to pull away from the faster cars. He knew he was slow for the other 2 sectors, but he couldn't get past, and that was the most important thing.
I know. That was probably Hulkenberg's best race in his career so far.
Well, to keep 2 world champions behind him, not an easy thing to do.
He should be in a higher team than Sauber. No, you
and Smitty would have gone great. You two would be like a house on fire doing this discussion. But meanwhile, stealthily behind them, a Sauber's joined the mix. Tom 625 has suddenly got DRS active on Fozzy 37. The hunter has become the hunted. In towards turn 7, and big mistake from XRL Fearless there, chopping back on the track. Fozzy 37 thinks about going around the outside turn 8. He's just not got the difference maker there, and as a result of that, Tom 65 got a better XRL 8. Can he go around the outside of 9? That's unbelievably brave, but what a
contender for overtake of the week there.
That was a fantastic piece of driving. Unbelievable. On the screen, writers tags asked the question. I'll put it over to you, Lee, since you're the driver. For 50% race, what strategy would you suggest regarding pit stops?
Let me think it through.
Well, you think that through top 65, think around the outside of turn 14. Oh, Fearless drifts by, slight contact, and that's now brought Fozzy 37 into the mix. We've got a freeway scrap for second place. Fozzy 37 suddenly gone wide though, missed the chicane, and has lost at least half a second, if not a second there. Tom 625 can breathe a sigh of relief. He's got a chance of going back for a second place now.
I think it's a free stopper. Go into the option tyres and pit lap 5, then get a set of prime zone, go to lap 15 or 16, and then do 2 final stints of the option tyres.
Well, that's a suggestion from Lee, but if you have any further questions, please keep them coming on the stream. Top 65, DRS flap over down towards turn 1, not close enough to affect the pass on Fearless, gets a poor exit on 2 though, but at the same time he's following quite nicely through 3, and this will give him a chance for 4 and 5. If he can get those corners hooked up, he'll have a great chance on the DRS towards turn 7. Especially with Fearless going a little wide like that, DRS flat wide open, curves deployed. Tom 625 gaining a much better toe here, pulls out of the slipstream, goes to the right, Fancy's going around the outside of 7, brave stuff, little bit of contact there, he's been potentially pushed off the track. Tom 625 not giving up into 8, and Fearless, where did that come from? Oh, they've hit each other! Tom 625 pulls Fearless around, waits for Fearless, both of them lose out, oh, Fearless goes into the wall and stuck again. Both guys have lost at least 5 seconds there, and we'll have to note that down to be reviewed after the race as an incident. I'm not sure of who turned it on who there. My footage was side on, and it looked to me like Fearless was just coming round and maybe didn't quite see where the wheel at Tom 625's car was.
I think it's a racing incident, but Fearless should have backed up because he forced Tom off the track at turn 7, and you would have to get the place back. So if he backed off, that wouldn't have happened.
Well, we'll review that after the race. We'll all say much more on this now. In the meantime, right, this last question for you, Lee. What was your opinion of last night's crazy and dramatic race? As Tom 65 hits the wall and loses an end plate.
Annoying. It's just trying to avoid the wall. It's just so annoying. So hard to concentrate for 2 hours. Drive 61 laps of Singapore. It's just impossible. Like,
is that your opinion on it then? Impossible?
Pretty much. It's harder than Monaco, in my opinion.
Well, there you are, harder than Monaco. It is an endurance race. I know that both Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel have petitioned for it to be shortened.
Pretty much Le Mans, but in F1 cars and the street circuit.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, Tom 625 got a great chance here. DRS flat wide open, and he's already passed at turn 6. Riding from reverse now, he's got to make sure he gets it stuck for turn 7. And Fearless doesn't hit it this time. No contact between the drivers. Into turn 8, and Fearless realises the game is up. Tom 625 moves into additional P3.
Sean Bean has lapped XRL Bernie.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I wonder. I wonder if Bernie and there's a Williams just ahead that is Connorized. They've been in an accident somewhere. Yeah, they must have, because Bernie and Connorized have paired 3 times already.
Well, we didn't get it on the stream. We don't know what happened there. As Sean Bean hits one of the walls coming out at the end of sector 3. He's probably pushing a little close to the wall. Fozzy 37.
Sean Bean has lost his front lane and he has a front right puncture.
Let's ride on board. He does. Well, that's a massive change to the order here, because now Fozzy 37 has a chance to come out into the lead here. In fact, he's just going through the final corner now. The jacks are only just off Sean Bean's car. Dramatic change to the order here, and one of the newer guys goes into the lead. He's got the prime tyres on, and he's got the position on the track. Well, that could change everything. There's 16 laps to go. He's going to have to be at least once again, and already second place at Tom 625 and XRL Fearless have gone through. Sean Bean 22 comes out in P4, and he's got another Salva behind him, which is Jamie 2503. Well, the chips are down for Sean Bean. He's going to have to try and let the wind to be able to pull the wind out of the back from here.
Well, he's pitted twice. The guys in front of him has already only pitted once. And the thing is, I think Sean was going to pit that lap or the following lap because he was on the option tyres at the time. So it was almost on a scheduled pit stop.
Unbelievable stuff here. Total drama here in Singapore. You couldn't write this stuff. So Sean Bean now finds himself staring down the barrel of not being on the podium, having got pole position and led so dominantly, but there's only half of the race done. There's more to come in this race. Do not write him off. There's no one better at clawing his way back.
The corner is almost spun at the final corner. It took far too much curb.
Is there an easy corner to make a mistake on there? Because it seems like quite a blind corner to me.
Yeah, it's just, curbs are very unforgiving. Especially around here, because in the final sector, like, I spun twice. Especially one of those occasions, I lost the front wing.
Right, so Sean B22 has now called very quickly to the back of SRL Fearless, who got a poor exit off the penultimate hair chicane, and Fearless decides he's had enough and he goes into the pits. And they say, oh, I think both top 625, indeed, top 625, and also the McLaren have both got into the pits. So all of a sudden, Sean Bean is back in the lead.
Yeah. Talking about the curves, this is a recommendation for the guys in the lower divisions. Increase your ride height by a couple of clicks. I did it a few laps on time trial today, but at a higher ride height, it was just much easier in the curves. It might compromise you in speed, but just to stay in the track, it'll help you.
Well, in the meantime, Top 65 is now P5 as Rival 95X and the Williams has managed to jump him ahead due to pit stop strategy, and right behind him now is XRL Fearless. So Top 65 got it all to do if he wants to go on the podium here, because with that incident that happened between himself and XRL Fearless, that's definitely compromised his track position in relation to Fozzie 37.
Rival just hit the wall at the exit turn 8, 9.
Yeah. Going through turn 10, Top 65 right on board with the Sauber at the moment as we go over the chicane following after turn 10 and into the Anderson hairpin onto the Anderson bridge. Top 65 definitely closes up to the back of Ribo. Of course, Ribo's not got the advantage of fresh tyres, whereas Top 65 does, so he will have that extra grip. It's a question of how long Ribo's tyres last and how many pit stops Ribo's looking to do towards the end of the race. Coming up to the grandstanders, once again Top 65 is definitely catching up very quickly here. Under the grandstand he goes, plenty of drama there.
Yellow flags out on track somewhere.
Yeah, I keep seeing them, I don't know what for. Meantime, Bravo 95 is in real danger now of being swallowed up here because Top 625 is right behind him.
Jamie 2503 pits. Now, he hasn't lost the front wing.
Top 65 pulls out the slipstream out towards turn 1. We don't really see passes here. And he's overbraked a little bit, but managed to keep it inside the island. And he's got past Rival 95. Now the question is where we're going to be close enough to do him back on the DRS towards turn 7. Let's ride on board with the Williams as he goes into turn 5. Gets a nice clean entry. A little bit of slide on the outside, but hold it together. DRS flap over curve acting. Heading out towards turn 7, but Top 625 is getting away from him. And that position is done. Great driving from Top 625.
Yeah, Rival's got no real traction. I think Jamie 2503 just spun in the final two corners and then just went inside the box. I can't think of any other reason why yellow flags on it.
Yeah, of course, we don't actually have the race director information like they do for real F1 here to tell us exactly what's going on, so that makes things tricky. Meanwhile, Rival 95X is under threat from XRL Fearless who's really closed the gap to him now in that Mercedes. Unfortunately, within these guys, the track has actually got spread out. The field is very far apart, unfortunately. Well, it's good to see so many of you watching this tonight. Only 7 according to my indicated stream, but I don't know how accurate that is. But it's cool that you're all here watching. Thank you all very much. Of course, myself and Lee bringing you coverage right to the end of the race. Brought to you by GT Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk. While we've got a brief lull in the action, I'll make you aware tomorrow night is the GP3 division. We're interested to see if those guys can replicate the drama from F1 and GP2. Then we've got F4 and F5000 on the Wednesday for the newer drivers. And then finally we've got the 80s and the 90s. Now those races, where are we at this week?
80s is at XRL and the 90s is at Spa.
Oh, 2 classic tracks right there. XRL's a big mistake from JR1. He was getting close to the back of, I think it's XRL Rusty, and hit the outside curve on the final turn. Has gone completely around, and he's not started reversing or anything yet. Oh, he's got a car coming up behind him. Who is that? That's one of the Mercedes, and that's Connorized. So he's compromised there, but he's waiting patiently to make sure he's not ruined anyone's races. XRL Bernie goes through. MJI1 has made the big mistake, and he's coasting on the pit straight now. He doesn't seem to have got himself up to speed. How close is he towards the end? Is he actually taking this any further? I'm riding on board, and he doesn't seem to be moving very quickly to me.
Is he pausing? I think he's paused.
Let's ride on board.
Yes. What he's doing?
He's driving this very, very slowly. It's almost like he's doing a cool-down lap. And Sean B22 is going to lap him. There goes our leader.
What is he doing? Is he coasting to retire?
If he is, then at least he's getting to retire. But well, I'm going to go back to the front, guys. You keep an eye on that for us and see what happens next. Fozzie 37 is currently in P2, and in P3, Tom 625 has got a little bit of a gap now ahead of XRL Fearless in the Mercedes. And then in 5th place, we've got, Bravo 95X has got into the box and been passed on track by Jamie 2503, who's on fresh rubber now, and he's got 11 laps to go. Can he make those 5 laps to the end? Distance is definitely possible with the fuel weight burning off. Would you agree, or would you expect him to pit again?
It depends when they pitted.
Well, you saw him pit when he spun, didn't you?
Yeah, not long ago. It'll be very, very tricky.
MJI1 just been lapped by Tom 625 going into turn 10. He may be coasting to retire here, MJI1. But if he is coasting to retire, it's kept out of people's way. So there's nothing wrong with that, it's just a bit strange.
Yeah. Don't need to coast around like real life F1. He's going straight on. Why is he going straight on at the Anderson hairpin?
I don't know. You are Jamie 2503 is going all over the place. Is he parked the car? Is that what he was doing? Trying to park the car in a place like that? Because if he retires, I understand what he was doing it for, but unfortunately it'll be a penalty.
Yeah. He's possibly only got 10-second penalty for retirement.
Oh, mistake! Mistake from Tom 625. He spun at the penultimate chicane, lost his front wing, and has gone into the pits. XRL Fearless goes to P3, and Tom 625, absolute disaster. He's at least 1, if not 2 laps early for his final pit stop, and that's going to completely compromise his strategy as a result. And he's on option tyres. He's gone for the options. He'll have to stop again, surely.
Definitely. You cannot do 10 laps on option tyres on 50%, especially with the tyre scaling in this game.
Well, we'll see what happens now, but that's completely opened up the field, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Sean B22 looking to come to lap one of the other guys. MJI1 riding on board with him. And no, he's not gone into the pits. No, now he has.
Well, that's illegal. He missed.
It was an illegal entry, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, is pit crew out for him? He's changing the wing and putting on fresh tyres. So why did he coast around for a lap? What did he do that for?
No idea.
And if you're watching this, viewers, perhaps you can tell us what he was doing, because I can't think of any reason why he'd do that. What's the point in coasting round for a lad? There's no reason for it, even if you got no front wing.
Maybe in that twice. That's a back up. There's Sean Bean. Oh. I thought they were going to make contact there.
Rival 95 Double X is getting close to the back now. Tom 625, he's in P6, Tom 625 P5, and Tom 625 is on the option tyres and definitely going to have to stop again. Rival, meanwhile, might be able to make his tyres go to the end, and that would allow him to jump the salvo by quite some distance. Tom 625's got it all to do. Be interested to see if he can make up for that mistake that he made.
NGI is now 2 laps down.
Wow.
He's driving normal speed now.
Very strange. Very, very strange.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the rules to say you have to do it. There's no minimum speed rule.
Yellow flags out in sector 2. See, that is NGI backed off again.
Riding on board. Let's try and find out.
He's lost his wing. He's lost his wing and he has a front left puncture.
How's he done that? He's coasted round for a lap, and then as soon as he's doing one lap of flying pace, he goes that. How does that work?
This is very, very, very strange.
Just a bit. Very, very strange indeed. We're into the final leg now of the race, the final third, and in the meantime now with the race order, I'll give you a rundown of the fastest laps. Sean B22 first place on a 1:42.6. Then we've got Fozzie 37 second on a 1:43.0. Behind him, XRL Fields also on the 1:43.0. Just 100th of a second between the pair of them. Very, very close. JB2503 is in fourth on a 1:42.9. Then Tom 625 on a 1:42.6. Matching Sean B's lap pace, but not actually matching his race pace overall. Consistency is just not there. Then we've got Ribo 95X in sixth place on a 1:43.4. XRL Rusty on a 1:43.4 in P7. Connor Housden in P8 on a 1:43.2. XRL Bernie on a 1:43.3. And an MGI1 with a puncher, lost wing and 2 laps down. But his lap time, meanwhile, is the fastest lap at 1:42.3. This just gets weirder and weirder.
Right, he's gone straight on. What is he doing? Are you get on board with him?
No, but I can get on board with him.
He's just went straight onto an escape road and he's just reversed. He's done a 3-point turn and coming out into the path of Sean B now.
That's 3 laps down.
Yeah. He's just retired from the race. I don't know if he's in game chat or not.
I have no idea because
if he's in game chat, he would have been told to retire.
That's if he's lagging. I mean, he might not be lagging. He's just being very, very slow.
It's definitely not a Fountain Ghost car. That's for sure.
No.
There's been an update today.
Yeah, what was the update for? Does anyone actually know?
I've checked the internet and I can't find any news on it. But so far I haven't seen any ghost cars. There was ghost cars last night in F1 division. So far there isn't. And no one has lagged out this race so far. I hope I haven't jinxed it.
That's the sound of me knocking on wood there.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not the sound of me knocking on wood. That means something else. A little more rude. So in the meantime now, Tom Fozzie 37's in P3, P2, sorry, going through turn 5. And then we've got XRL Fearless heading for the same stretch of track. Unfortunately, the field's spread out. We've not really got any close battles now. It's a real shame.
Yeah, it's just like the final hour of Le Mans. That's just taking it easy. And
he's finally retired.
But did he do it in the pits?
I don't know, I wasn't watching. I don't think so.
I didn't. I've just invited him to the party.
Okay, good, nice one. We'll have to try and get the opinions of the drivers and find out what happened. Hi there, Aaron Jack. We saw you having quite a bit of trouble with the race there towards the end. What happened?
I lost my front wing. I was going round the last bend, and my car went onto the curb and just absolutely slid off the curb, and I had no chance of getting back into the race. I was doing alright as well. I was catching to XRL Rusty, I think it is, yeah. After that, just had no chance, so I just decided to call it a day.
Well, I must say, I mean, we did see you going round quite slowly at certain points in the race where you seemed to have taken quite a long time. And so we were wondering if you were constantly around to retire. What made you go so slow to get round? It seemed a bit of an unusual strategy.
What do you mean, like, to get back into the pits?
Yeah.
Because I had a puncture and I just couldn't, if I accelerated too much, then I would have just braked, and I wouldn't have been able to brake properly, and I lost my front wing as well, so I was struggling to get round and just trying to avoid the cars as well.
I see. Okay, can I ask one final question? Where was it you retired?
I retired into the pits. That's where I retired.
Okay. Alright, well, moving further forward then, let's forget the bleak night in Singapore. We've got South Korea coming up, which is the Yongnam Grand Prix. Do you reckon that's going to be a place that'll give you a bit more chance and the kind of track that might suit your needs better?
Yeah, definitely. These sort of tracks, Monaco, Singapore, tight tracks with not a lot of room is one of the not really my strong point, and all the open tracks are more a stronger point. So yeah, I'm hopefully going to get something out of the next race, yeah.
Okay, well thank you very much for your comments. Commiserations on the rest of the night, and if you want to watch the rest of the thing, check out Channel 1 for the XRL Racing League on Twitch. Otherwise, we'll see you next week at the lap of South Korea.
Alright, cheers, thanks.
Well, a bit of a strange strategy there, because I'm not sure if you understood my point, because he's talking about having a puncher, but I'm pretty sure he didn't have a puncher in the first stint of going back to the pits. And XRL Bernie's retired. Where did he retire from?
Well, he was running dead last.
Well, it's interesting, because earlier on today, I was doing a live stream on my own channel with Spinny 56 and Writer's Tag, and one of the things Spinny was saying is that he doesn't believe you should get any points if you retire from the race. He's saying you should have to finish the race. Well, XRL Bernie, can you tell us what happened? What was the reason for your retirement?
The pain was there for everyone to see if they were watching my race. You could do a sort of funnies version of my race. You could just get all the wing breaks and just put it into a lovely little video for the pre-show. It wasn't good, if I'm honest.
Well, I say we've seen quite a lot of action out on the track tonight with regards to quite a few incidents and also drivers being very close to the edge. We also saw from qualifying your laps seemed quite ragged. Is this a track that you would say is one of your weaker ones?
Yes. I thought I was a bit better than what I was, but it was evident from about late yesterday. No, the time I had. Pardon?
Oh,
sorry, what was that?
Has lost his front wing under the grandstand.
Oh, it's always bound to happen. We're going to see someone losing the wing there. It's such a tight corner and so difficult to get around. So he's in P8 right on board, see if he gets into the pits, see if he carries on, or is he going to be another retiree in a depleted field drawn by attrition here? We're going back to your comments, Bernie. What were you saying?
I thought the writing was on the wall probably yesterday afternoon. I had very limited running left today. It turned out I couldn't get on until about 10 to 7, so I couldn't really get any practice anyway.
Sean Bean has boxed and he's lost the lead to Fozzie.
Yeah, that's interesting, yeah. Well, Fozzie's not got a big lead, because Sean Bean's come out now in turn 3, and Fozzie only just gone through the kink of turn 4. So it's not a big lead for Fozzie, but Sean Bean's got to make sure it sticks. Now, 4 laps on the option tyres, surely that's easy. Surely he can burn this rubber off to the edge.
I would have stayed, I would have gone a lot earlier, but I thought, what would the inset do to the game? But I then got to the point where, it was getting pretty painful, and, well, there's a new patch on this game, so let's see if it does anything, I suppose.
Yeah, we've been trying to debate that in the box here as to what that patch has actually done.
No one from Codemasters has sort of said anything.
Well, that's pretty pointless, Codemasters. Tell us what it's about. Don't just put a patch on the game. Next thing you know, we're bleeding green shells and banana skins. We've got Formula Mario Kart.
Hopefully no disconnects. Well, Dan, you're the host, so you're spectating, so I'm not sure you'll stay in the lobby or...
Let's hope it stays. I mean, there's only 4 more laps this race.
Yeah.
In a way, I want Fozzie to win it, but Sean probably is the quicker driver.
Well, Sean's almost caught up to the back of Fozzie now as they head towards the grandstand corner.
Well, Fearless is in 3rd. That's pretty bad.
But underneath the grandstand, Sean Bean's caught very, very closely here to the back of the Sauber. It's a Sauber ahead of him, not Fozzie.
No, it isn't.
Oh, no, it is Fozzie. It looked like a Sauber from behind for some reason.
Didn't it?
So that gap is very, very close now. We're talking 2 or 3 tenths. Fozzie goes blocks the defence into the middle. Sean Bean jumps into the outside, gets on the anchors nice and light, and that's absolutely beautiful. Now the question is, has Fozzie got the... Jamie T503's destroyed his vehicle. Where was it destroyed? And also, how's Fozzie got back in the lead?
Well, there's yellow flags in the middle sector. Oh, safety cars there.
Safety cars been deployed.
Safety car deployed. Sean Bean
I wish I stayed. I wish I stayed.
Did Sean Bean overtake Fozzie under safety car?
No, he didn't.
No, I don't think so. No.
Oh, it was very, very close.
Fuel. Change fuel mode to mix 1.
Right, we need to get Jamie in here and find out what happened. Because we don't know what happened to his car.
It was the corner before the grandstand. So we know it's quite a tight corner, but...
PK corner. What's a PK corner?
What?
Oh, the corner where Nelson PK crashed on purpose.
No,
Oh.
his corner was earlier. This was turn 17. The safety car has been deployed, so a bit of an anticlimactic end to the race here, viewers, because we're only going to have maybe 2 more laps of racing. Because we've got to wait for the safety car to catch everybody up. That'll be till at least lap 29.
You have 1 lap.
So where's Jamie? Let's get Jamie in the box and see if he can give us his comments on what happened.
It's a 1 lap sprint between 7 of them.
Exactly, anything can happen. It only takes one person getting it wrong at the first couple of corners, and we've got an anarchy where the leader can find himself finishing P7. He's certainly blown out Force 4 in the open lobbies if they're safety cars. So the question what's going to happen there. Fozzie 37 decides he's going to box, goes in the box under safety car. Now the question is, XRL Fearless, he's only a short while behind him. He also goes to the box behind. So Tom 625, who's in P4, is way behind these guys. So there'll be no change to the order, and they're going to all have absolutely fresh tyres right to end the Grand Prix with. Great strategy there. Sean Bean did not box because he'd only stopped on track 27. Jamie, what actually happened with the car? We saw you come and say you destroyed the vehicle. How did it happen?
Well, at the last corner, I got a bit wide. My tyres were almost pretty much gone, and then I lost my wing, and I was trying to just kind of nurse it round, and then just lost it at one of the high downforce corners, and just went straight into the wall.
Was that near the part where you go into the grandstand?
Yeah.
So you just lost the traction and hit the wall there. Absolute commiseration. They thought you were on for a strong performance, considering your qualifying, which went so awry because you missed it, and you started from P11. Were you expecting to be in for the chance to fight for the top end of the points, maybe even near to the podium?
Yeah, I was looking at Fearless, and he was starting to drop off in pace. My tyres were a bit fresher than his, so I knew it would be a bit close for the podium at the end, but you know, these things happen.
Well, it's moving further forward then from the dismal evening with Singapore. We've got the South Korean Grand Prix coming up next week at Yongnam. Is that track a little more suited to your needs? Do you reckon you'll get a better result there?
Yeah, I like Korea. Pretty quick around it, and just have to wait and see what I can do.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your comments. Commiserations on the result, and we'll see you next Monday for the next two races in the Asian leg.
Right, okay, cheers, mate. Bye.
On a side note, whilst there's a little lull, Is there a lot of incidents going on? I've been sort of quiet, so I don't know.
We've had one actual collision incident. We've had a couple which are potential calls for corner cutting and retirement on them.
Okay, right.
Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So we're going to get some more information about those. But yes, so we are under safety car conditions here in Singapore. We'd expect the safety car to come in this lap for one final sprint to the flag. I don't think Sean B's going to be too happy about this, because he certainly seems to have the pace now that's completely wrapped up, and now that's all come undone.
Connor is in P6 and he can't go away. He's got to stay.
Yeah, he'll have to get out of Fuzzy's way immediately.
Yeah, but whereas they're both lapped. So Connor and Rusty are lapped, and they're not can't. Their races are done.
Yeah.
Their races are
that's a
completely
stupid game. They should just be allowed to go through and continue.
Well, as I say, that's not how it is in F1. It used to be like that, but then they scrapped that rule, and now all of a sudden you've got to be you've got a whole position no matter where you are. You could have first place, and then 7 cars that are lapped, and then second, and you'd argue that first gets a monumental advantage because of that.
No overtaking.
That's
Well,
how
in
it
this
is.
case, Sean Bean gets away with a little there then.
He does, yeah, but he's got a lap car in the way. And also, DRS is disabled, so he's not going to be able to get mugged under DRS. If Fozzie 37 wants to take this place, he's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Safety car is in this lap.
Well, there's the confirmation, viewers. We are going to be racing at the end of this lap for the final race. It's a one-lap stint to the flag here. The question to see who gets out on top of it.
Sean Bean's starting to bunch up the field now.
Was that the kind of place where you'd look to do it if you were in charge of the race, Lee? Or would you have held on a little earlier, a little later?
Well, I'll start bunching them right now and just try and time it right. Oh, here goes Sean.
Yeah, Sean's gone. He's decided to get away early. And behind him, caught napping, is Fozzie 37, who's way behind the Williams.
Go. Fearless is now starting now. I think that was probably a safety car glitch.
Yeah, Fearless has been badly caught out there. And behind, we've got a bit of a scrap going on as we've got Tom 625 overtaking one of the Williams, which looks like it's missing a lot of its front wing there. It didn't pit. Yeah, that was right on 95X, who got mugged by Tom 625 going down towards turn 1. Connor Eisen in P6 is way behind, and then we've got XRL Rusty who's nowhere near it either. These guys totally out of sync. But Sean Bean now in a great position here. He's got absolutely nothing in front of him, and he's got Fozzie 37 way behind. There's a Williams behind the leader, but it's not going to make any difference. The car is flat, and Fozzie 37 is way too far behind. So barring an unforeseen mistake from Sean Bean, this race is going to be his. And once again, he's one of the only people to have won both the F1 and GP2 division at the same track in the same week.
No, he did it in Bahrain.
Tom's under pressure for P4 here. He lost a bit of his wing.
Well, Rybo was actually at P5 on my screen. Tom 625 is at P4.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Tom's under pressure from Rybo. Maybe not so much now because of Rybo making that mistake, but...
We're coming onto the grandstand. Rybo is a little few car lengths behind here. Sean Bean is going to take this race, and we're also going to see a great performance by the new driver in McLaren, the Fozzie 37, St. P2. XRL Phil is a distant third, but can Tom 65 done? He's gone totally off the track. He's hit the wall, and Rybo takes it in the final corner. Unbelievable! And a penalty also applies for Tom 625. So even if he hadn't hit the wall, he would have finished behind. But what an extraordinary finish to the race!
Fantastic drive from Sean. Pole position, fastest lap, and the race win.
Definitely. Well, let's get these guys in here so we can get their comments on the race. because these guys have all worked very hard here to get the provisional result. There are some things that are going to be investigated, but it's all quite minor stuff as far as I can tell. So let's get these guys in here for their final podium interview. And both guys here have done very, very well to hang on. Sean, let's start with you. Last night you got victory in the Formula 1 race, giving you a great chance of some recon ahead of the GP2. You got pole position. It looked like with the safety car you might have found things a bit difficult, but have been able to hold on for the victory. How was it for you?
I'll tell you what, that last pit stop onto the options, if I didn't get past Fozzie, then that win would have just gone like that. It would have just gone. So that was a crucial overtake. Apart from that, it was a fantastic race. One mistake, but I was fortunate it was near the pits. But yeah, it's just a solid race, quick lap times, and people weren't able to touch me.
Well, as I mean, you've obviously underlined your pace there by being able to win both the F1 and the GP2 division for the second time this season. Moving on to Korea, is that a track where you expect to be able to do the same thing?
Oh, I'm not too sure. It's not one of my favourites, but I'll definitely give it a go to give everyone on the stream a good viewing and a good evening's lot of watching on the F1 stream and on GP2 as well.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Well, in the meantime, not received position for second place in the party, so what we'll do is we'll go on to XRL Fails for now, on the bottom rung of the podium. Having seen the recon in F1, did you feel you had a chance of getting higher, or was third where you expected?
At the third, I was hoping for more second. I know Sean had the pace on me. I really struggled out there today. I just couldn't find the pace that he had last night, but I'm pretty happy with it overall. I mean, I would have been happy with second, but it wasn't to be.
Well, it certainly seems like you were being pushed throughout the race. And obviously, Singapore's more of a marathon and endurance rather than a sprint race. So, moving on to Korea, a bit more expansive, a little more space available. Do you expect to be able to punch above your weight there and go for the victory?
Yeah, without sounding arrogant, yeah. I want to really push for that one. It's a track that I really do enjoy. I know I've got good pace here, so I'm going to give it my best and try and get another win on the score sheet.
Fantastic. Well, Fozzie37 has unfortunately not responded to our request for a post-race interview, so we are going to have to say goodnight here from this. So GP2, thank you to you, Sean. Congratulations on your win, and best of luck next week for Korea. Also, same for you, XRL Fearless. Very, very good job. Now, tomorrow night, it is going to be the GP3 race. We don't know if that's yet being streamed. That's yet to be determined. And then on Wednesday night, we've got the double race of F4 and F5000. One of those will be covered by XRL Bernie. We may see another streamer taking over for the other race. And on Thursday night, we've got a double header of classics, 80s at Estoril and 90s at Spa. And then on Sunday night, we're going to South Korea for the Yongnan Grand Prix, exclusively live on Twitch, courtesy of GamePod.co.uk and GT Omega Racing. Well, tonight, I've been Pete Markroft, joined by Lee. Thank you all very much, and good night.